Welcome back. We are live and we're going to talk about Ripple and Davos. We're going to talk about Coinbase and Davos. We're going to talk about tokenization, trading 24/7, 365, and just kind of a crypto market update because everything has been delayed. And one of the reasons why everything has been delayed is probably because of Davos. And I should have known that. I really should have known that. I am so stupid to think that we would get any sort of market clarity right before one of the biggest events in finance and technology and just complete control. So let's go ahead and cover everything that happened. Also, big shout out to all of you who are watching from all the different platforms. Those of you that are brand new here that have been subscribed to the channel, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, set alerts, and always share this because that really helps. So let's go ahead and talk about exactly what is happening. All right, what is happening? Because there is a lot going on. We all wanted to get crypto market structure essentially moved to the next step. However, it was bad. And I'm a firm believer that that no bill is better than a bad bill. I know there's going to be people that disagree with me, and that's because we are living in a society where everybody wants instant gratification. Nobody wants to work for things. They just want it done, and we blindly rely on our government to do so. And it's okay to compromise with government. It's okay to want to get things done, but we don't want to get bad deals. And the reason why we don't want to get bad deals is because, again, we sat and we blamed the current U.S. economy on the boomers and that they had it easy. They were able to get houses for $10. They had access to jobs and capital and all these different things. And then they voted for policies that made our lives more difficult. Well, now we are the boomers. Now it is our time to vote for policies that not only improve our quality of life, maybe not instantly or directly, but improve the quality of life for our kids and our family. Most of us are not going to have things to pass down to our kids. And one of the arguments I see online is that there's all this self-entitlement that people are supposed to pass assets and things down to their kids, when in reality, you're supposed to work really hard, give your kids the best opportunity to do well for themselves, and then take care of yourself. God forbid you get sick, and then pass down whatever you have to your kids. A lot of people are expecting things, but reality is, if we don't demand for the yield now and we don't demand for good crypto market structure now, then we're not going to have anything to pass down to our kids. So I want you to think of it that way. I want you to take a step back, and I really want you to think about what the actions we're doing today are going to impact future generations, because that definitely matters. Definitely matters. And don't do it from a selfish perspective. I understand not everybody has kids. I understand that people have different priorities, and that's okay. But at the same time, you're still doing this for yourself. You're still doing this so that you have a chance at a better quality of life. Maybe if your nieces, your nephews, whomever, okay? I don't know. But we need to respectfully demand for better bills. We need to demand for better procedures, and we need to demand that crypto is integrated, but it's integrated in a semi-fair way. And when I say that, I'm talking about compromise here. Compromise is incredibly important. Compromise is part of having social skills, and social skills are becoming a lost art of society. You're never going to get your full way, ever, but you can compromise to get certain things that you want, especially in 2026, especially the fact that we have technology at our fingertips. We can email, we can write, we can do all these things to our public servants and demand for better. So that's a challenge I want to present to all of you. Write to them and demand, because it's not just about yield on stablecoins. It's really about complete control. It's about giving DeFi the power to operate in a true decentralized economy to an extent. And I know that the SEC, Hester Peirce, has said it before, that they really want to have disclosures, and there's a way to do that. There's a way to make both sides happy. But I'm telling you right now, when it comes to the banks and the yield, it's more than just that. Banks take your money and they loan it out. They get into debt. And then who bails them out? Not only are we funding their business, but we are bailing them out. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of bailing these banks out. I'm tired of bailing them out for their gambling, because that's what they're doing. They're gambling with their money. That's what investing is. Investing is just a fancier way to say gambling. And when people say, oh, crypto's a scam, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not a scam. You just made poor choices. And that's okay. I've been scammed a lot in crypto. I've lost a lot of money in crypto, but I've also made money in crypto. Which, by the way, I don't have any crypto in the house for people that are wanting to wrench attack me. No crypto here. We do have pew-pews in every room. We've got alarms in every room. And we also have some other fun things in every other room, too. Anyways, let's go ahead and get back into the show. First and foremost, shout out to our channel members over here. We got to give channel members a big shout out. Shout out to Dale, to Mike, to Lawrence. Hope you're having a beautiful day out there, Mr. Lawrence. Mr. R, Mr. John Germain. Who else? Gorgeous Alexandra, Gumby, Mixing. Oh, Mixing likes, you guys, Mixing is my quant, and he also wanted me to tell you that he's very excited to have lunch later with some beans and tuna in a potato. Shout out to Sparkwater, to Mr. R, did we say Lawrence, to Callie. I know we give Mixing a hard time. To Cherry, to Gamer. Trying to give everybody a shout out over here. Music. All right, let's go ahead and get into it because there's lots of news to cover. And we're supposed to be doing a play date today, my baby. Shout out to the parents who got kids home today. Mine's doing laundry. Not laundry. No, she's doing dishes, and she's already in my closet. So this is what's happening. And shout out to Good Evening Crypto for posting this. USA House at Davos 2026 includes Ripple, Microsoft, Pfizer, and more. What a lineup. What a lineup. With just looking at this lineup in general, this should absolutely terrify you. I digress. But again, Ripple's always been in Davos. They've always been doing the WEF thing. All of these companies, which again, it's great for them. But at the end of the day, they're part of the institutions. And that's okay because we could still make money. But that is what it is. So this makes sense why we're not having any crypto market structure passed, because they're all rubbing shoulders at Davos and they're all trying to figure out what to do with us. They're all trying to figure out what to do with the taxpayers. So really quickly, if you don't know what happens in Davos, global leaders from politics, business, and civil society to discuss urgent world issues like climate change, economy, and inequality in an exclusive invitational only event. Political leaders, corporate executives, and policy influencers will meet at the World Economic Forum annual meeting in Davos in Switzerland this week. Ripple is sponsoring the USA House during the event. U.S. firms reportedly paid up to $1 million to sponsor it. The venue will serve as a hub for U.S. companies and officials. It will host private events highlighting U.S. leadership in areas including economic resilience, AI, and digital assets. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink opened WEF event earlier today. I love how it says inequality in an exclusive invitational only event. CBDCs, AI, UBI, and the big S word. So that's what's going on this week. Also, McKinsey and Microsoft to sponsor Trump Hub in Davos Church. This is a very interesting place, why they would put it in a church, but okay. All right. Anyways, it's kind of what's going on with that. Brian Armstrong is there, and we'll talk about that a little bit. And this is an article from TradingView. TradingView's got articles now, which I love. I love TradingView. But anyways, Brad Garlinghouse spoke at CFC St. Moritz Conference in Switzerland on January 15th. It's an exclusive crypto and digital asset conference near Davos that brings together institutional investors, family offices, and policymakers to discuss the maturation of crypto markets. His panel discussed whether crypto firms can coexist with traditional public markets. The event is often compared to the World Economic Forum. I'm going to come back to that in a second. And then we got Mr. Brian Armstrong there. Let's go ahead and listen to his little clip that he posted. Just arrived in Davos for WEF. 3 main goals this week. Talk to world leaders about economic freedom and how crypto can update their financial systems. Continue to push for market structure legislation and keep pushing for tokenization to democratize access to capital markets, which I've got a conflicting story about that. So let's just listen to what Mr. Brian's got to say.
Hey y'all, I'm here in Davos at the World Economic Forum and just wanted to give you a quick update. 3 main goals for us this week. Number 1, I'm talking to different world leaders about economic freedom and how crypto can update their financial system.
Talking to world leaders on how crypto can update the financial system. So basically what they want to do is, and again, this is not necessarily a jab at Brian Armstrong, but this is just more so my thoughts on what's happening, whether he likes it or not. But when they're talking about updating the financial system, it's about giving everybody a digital ID, giving everybody, converting all fiat currency to digital cash, CBDCs, and complete control of people. And that's what they want to do. There's no freedom there. There's not. Cash is more free than a CBDC. Bitcoin is more free than a CBDC.
Number two, we're going to continue to work on the market structure legislation and meet with some of the bank CEOs to figure out how we can make this a win-win.
Okay, so remember when Miss Ellie was talking about when there was that big disagreement that happened over the weekend? I don't know if it was a disagreement, but Brian Armstrong was basically like, no, the White House never said X, Y, and Z or whatever it is. But it was just a bunch of drama. Basically, the White House told Brian Armstrong, because without giving yield to his customers at Coinbase, it impacts his bottom line. Okay, we know that. So he wants to keep yield on stablecoins. I want to keep yield on stablecoins because I want to be able to earn money that I keep in my savings account. I like to have money in a savings account for a rainy day. God forbid I need a brand new roof or my tire blows out or my car needs work. Every American should have that ability. We want to earn a little bit of yield on it. Banks don't want that because banks want to continue to take your money and then loan it out as they see fit and not pay you for it, even though you're forced to use their services. It makes no sense. It's a monopoly. But this makes sense that they didn't come to an agreement for the market structure and that they're all going to be chatting in Davos. So they'll come to an agreement and probably it's going to be in Davos and then they'll push it on us later.
Stablecoin should be an opportunity for both banks and crypto companies as long as we're all treated on a level playing.
And stablecoin should not be an opportunity just for banks and crypto companies. Stablecoin should be an opportunity for banks, for crypto companies, and retail. Again, Coinbase, Gemini, Kraken, and all the other ones would not be where they're at today if it wasn't for retail. Bitcoin would not be where it's at today if it wasn't for retail. Retail has done more for Bitcoin and crypto inequality than all of these people put together.
Playing field. And of course, defer to the Senate and the administration about how to take those discussions forward. Number three, we're going to talk a lot about tokenization this week and how it's democratizing access to capital markets. There's about 4 billion adults globally that they're unbrokered, they don't have access to any kind of high quality investments. And this is the engine of wealth creation that everybody should have access to. And crypto is going to help make that happen. So
yes, I agree with Brian on that. So let's talk about tokenization and how that impacts people who don't have access to brokerage. Okay. This is the thing. You can democratize, you can tokenize, you can do all of these things. But if you still have the accreditor investor law, it doesn't matter. Because people that are accredited investors, they have a certain wealth threshold that's not based off of a test. It's not based off of your knowledge. Just because somebody has money doesn't mean they're smart or doesn't mean they're a good investor. I know plenty of rich people that have gambling problems. I know plenty of rich people that don't know how to manage their money. And I know plenty of rich people that just aren't that intelligent. And it's not a knock or a slam at them. It's just how the world works. So we can tokenize everything and give everybody access, but are we really getting the same access? We're not. Unless the accredited investor law is removed, we are not getting the same access. We can tokenize it all, but it doesn't matter. You either have access or you don't. And again, my compromise here, big, you know what? Let's revamp the accredited investor law. Let's make it so that people who can pass a basic literacy test, that understand how this works, that understand they can lose money, that investing and gambling are the same thing, because that's exactly what they are. They're basically the same thing. Let's go ahead and make it to where people that are competent enough can get the same privileges. Let's do that. If we don't do that, all of this is in vain. What's next on the docket over here? And I wanted to point this out really quickly from Laura Shin. I absolutely love she posted this. I didn't think about it. So this was about the crypto. This was a post from Ellie when Brian Armstrong and Coinbase were all going, but they were all fighting. Like basically the White House is considering pulling its support for crypto market structure bill if Coinbase does not come back to the table. So Coinbase is over at Davos right now, chatting, rubbing shoulders with everybody, and they're going to come to an agreement that works for both parties. They're going to do something called compromise, but it's not going to be on behalf of retail. It's going to be on behalf of their business. But she said, January 17, 2026, Trump on brink of second bailout for banks. And I says, I didn't think about this. I didn't think about it. So what we're seeing happen right now, banks are in trouble. Remember the banking contagion thing that happened that Elizabeth Warren tried to blame on crypto, which really wasn't a crypto issue. It was the fact that banks took our money and they made very poor investments because they weren't able to time the market properly because of the high levels of inflation, the geopolitical drama and everything else that happened. That's what happened. It was their poor investing decisions. We will have another bank bailout, and we're going to be the ones footing the bill for it. That's how this works. So if we're going to be footing the bills to bail the banks out, I want to get some of that yield. I think it was crypto.com that's given 10% on USDC deposits, something like that, which again, that's another risk in itself, and you got to know where the yield comes from. But the point is, we want to be able to use a trusted financial institution to park our cash and earn money. DeFi is great. I love DeFi. But let's face it, most Americans and most people globally don't want to deal with all that drama. Let's talk a little bit about really quickly on inflows, and then we're gonna do really quickly on inflows, and then we're gonna talk about what's going on in the market, and then I've got some more information about tokenization and the stock market and those types of things, and that's going to be incredibly important to the things that we just discussed. So so stick with me here. This is as far as crypto ETF inflows or crypto flows, okay, for spot ETFs. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Link, Litecoin, and HBAR. So as you guys know, just really, really quickly, I am partnered with Kraken, and we have like a CryptoWendyO bundle, and every single project listed here outside of Litecoin is in the bundle. And the reason why I picked it that way, and this is another thing that I wanted to segue later, is that moving forward with crypto, my strategy is going to, well, it's not necessarily going to be trendy because we talked about it a lot. I am really only focused on cryptos that are spot ETFs outside, except for a couple outliers. And the reason why is because not only are they tokenizing everything, but number two, the cryptos that have spot ETFs, those are going to be counted as more legitimate when traditional finance looks at it. And those will be the ones that will probably be sustained, because a lot of these companies with a lot of money, they're just not going to dump they're not going to dump capital into coin XYZ. They're going to dump capital into something that's going to make them money. So I just wanted to bring that out there. And it's important to pay attention to the inflows. And I understand we're not seeing that essentially trickle into the crypto market price right now. They will eventually. We're just not there yet. But I just want to remind you, if you're brand new to crypto, you probably want to pay attention to crypto spot ETFs and to focus on these in addition to their to the fundamentals. That's just my opinion. And I do have a bundle that already sets you up with that. That's on Kraken. But as far as the market structure goes, or market price action right now, this is what we're looking at in a little bit of red. You guys can't see, but Cardano's privacy sidechain night is there. We did a really big update for them last week. Nobody watched the video because you guys just do that sometimes. And again, for those of you brand new to the channel, we got an inflow of subscribers over the weekend. Thank you so much for being here. I do give shout outs if you are a channel member when I get a little bit of a break. Also, too, I put out 3 pieces of content. I live stream 7 days a week at about 10:30 a.m. PT. And then I put out a second media piece at 2 p.m. PT, and then a third media piece at 6 p.m. PT. And it's basically a 2-minute news wrap up of everything that happened that day. So if you can't catch the live stream, I highly recommend you check it out. I put out more news than anybody else in this industry, and I will continue to do so. Also, too, just so y'all know, we got 65 million views just on Facebook in 2025. So thank you all so much for that. Now, what's going on with Bitcoin right now? This is the weekly. We're consolidating between 86,000 and 93,000. That's what we're doing. Nothing too terribly exciting at all. We're just going to continue to go sideways. For me personally, this is the weekly. I want to see a flip above resistance at 94,000 or a breakdown below support at 86,000. But right now we are moving sideways. And even though this looks gross on the daily, it's really not that bad. So what, we fall back down to 86,000, we fall back down to 89,000, not a big deal. Ethereum is also back in consolidation range over here, currently trading at about 3,200. Solana looks a little bit more bearish. We're getting ready to retest 127. XRP, little cute little candle over here on our daily. We love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Chainlink, a little bit bearish. ADA, pretty bearish, short-term bearish, not bad though. HBAR, same thing, got a swing wick low back in consolidation range. And VeChain is, where's VeChain at? Oh, what a day. VeChain also fell as well. So alts are not looking that great, but again, it is what it is right now. As far as the Bitcoin spot ETFs, they saw 1.4 billion inflows in best week since October. Congratulations, love to see it. Also last night, we had quite a bit of drama about Bitcoin fell like $4,000 and 500 million worth of leverage longs were liquidated in 60 minutes. This is the liquidation map right now. Let's take a look at the last 24 hours. So it's longs that were liquidated. A lot of people thought things were going to be bullish. I think most of us forgot that we had Davos this week, which was kind of bearish for crypto because it's basically you're dealing with a bunch of centralized entities that are going to dictate what you can and can't do with your crypto. Also, with that being said, if you are somebody who is not good at trading, don't use leverage. Shout out to Lauren. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. I appreciate it. Yes, I did. I'm going to be responding. I just was not feeling great last week. But thank you. No, I got it. I will be responding soon. Apologies for not responding quick enough. But I did get it. I just take a while to respond. I'm one of those, I'm a snail mail person. Sorry. Now, bear market rally, CryptoQuant breaks down Bitcoin's recent price rebound. So basically over here, they're saying on-chain data shows spot demand is still contracting and US-based ETFs purchasing is still nothing extraordinary. And again, we're kind of just, I mean, if you look at the chart, we're just going sideways. We're doing our thing. Right now is the time in markets when we're going sideways. Right now is the time just to continue to self-educate yourself or to go outside and do something. It's going to take a long time for the market to kind of do its thing right now, just because of what we're seeing with the crypto market legislature. We got all the big wigs in Davos right now. Davos, all the things. Okay. Next over here. Also, I wanted to just update you on this. This is from Patrick Witt. He is the executive director of the President's Council. There was some drama happening with the Samurai. Okay, because you guys know the Samurai wallet devs, which again, the crypto market structure is important because it does need to protect developers, people that are innocent, like the Samurai wallet devs and Roman Storm. They need to be free. But basically, we did get confirmation from the DOJ that the digital assets forfeited by Samurai Wallet have not been liquidated and will not be liquidated per the executive order. They will remain on USG balance sheet as part of the SBR, so that's good. We love to see it. This is a good step forward. They didn't do it. This is the story that I wanted to talk about. This is incredibly important, okay? Let me go down to get my notes. So the New York Stock Exchange develops tokenized securities platform. Okay. And it's going to be tokenized U.S. equities and ETFs, and it will support 24/7 trading, fractional shares, and instant settlement. It's part of ICE's push for fully digital blockchain-based market infrastructure. Now, why is this important and why are we talking about it? Okay. We're putting everything on chain. Everything is going on chain. All right. But is everybody going to get access to it? And this is why the crypto market structure bill is so important, because it's going to let you know who's going to be able to get access to these types of services. Tokenization was supposed to make access equal for everyone. But are we really going to get tokenization? Are we really going to get things made equal, given equal access for everyone? Is that what's going to happen? We don't know. Also, too, it doesn't say what chain's going to be used. It doesn't say any of that. So this is coming, but we don't know exactly how it's going to work. And that's important. And this is also going to be part of the market structure bill that we're seeing. So when people scream and they're yelling and they want things done, I want things done too, but we need to be patient because we can tokenize everything all day long, but are you going to have access to it? And of course, while all of this is going on, gold hits another new all-time high. And the cool thing about it is that you can actually go to Polymarket and pick what you think will happen with gold, how high it's going to go. And they do this with crypto and Bitcoin and all kinds of stuff. So it looks like right now, a lot of people think by the end of January that gold will be $4,900 per ounce. That's what it's looking like, I think. So that's a cool thing about Polymarket. And I love using their page for just news in general, because we're able to see kind of what's going on. I also don't know who Don Lemon is. and I posted about it, and I don't want to know who he is, but whatnot. And then also to, and again, there's a lot of different things that you can use to kind of not to pick on. And one of the things I do like about Polymarket is you can kind of see what the general consensus is, like what people are paying attention to and looking towards. Sports is going to be a big one. Did you guys watch the game yesterday? The football game, the last 2 days, really? And I love that they've got NFL there. I want to see if we can find the, let's see, we got an NFL over here. Yep. All right. This one is a good one. So this was the NFL game with the Rams and Seahawks. Oh, and people can talk too. So you can go ahead and see everything. So this over here is going to kind of let you know what's going on with the Rams and the Seahawks because they're playing next weekend. So I will definitely be watching this to see. Hold on. I want to see what people are betting on right now. So right now it looks like people are betting on that the Seahawks are going to win. We'll see. Anyways, that's kind of what's going on. Gold surged. Oh, it's $94 an ounce. I apologize. Oh no, this is silver. Sorry. This is silver. Yeah, gold is 4,600 per ounce. And then in Polymarket, people are thinking it's going to be 4,900. Really quickly, key events this week to pay attention to. Stock market futures reacted Trump's 10% tariffs on this over here. U.S. markets closed today. December pending home sales data Wednesday, which that's going to be an absolute doozy. U.S. quarter 3 2025 GDP data. November PCE inflation data Thursday. January S&P PMI data. And 10% of S&P 500 companies report earnings this week. So, yeah, mostly everybody's off for MLK Day celebrating. I know lots of the kids are out of school today. So that's what's happening with the news, guys, okay? Oh, Lauren said, remember tariffs crashed. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyways, you guys, I'm going to keep you updated on what's happening with Davos and whatnot. And make sure you stick around for the second media piece. I'm going to be dropping at 2 p.m. PT. It's going to be about Charles H. And he's got a wonderful take on all of this, and I absolutely love it. So make sure to stick around for that. But thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good rest of your day. I got to get baby ready because we got some girl stuff to do. Sending y'all love and light, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. PT, today at 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. Bye, babies.